Alright, I'm going to do a video here on safety wire. Hopefully I can give you guys some tips and tell you things not to do and what to do that will make your life easier. I'm just going to do the caliper bolts. I tried drilling some bolts to place on a board yesterday. I have terrible bits that were wrecked before. So, I'll give you the basic outline of the few things to do and not to do. First of all, when you safety wire, you want the direction to always pull the bolt tight, and it cannot be in a neutral position. So right here we have a hole that is lining. The holes go from 12 to 6 o'clock position, and so on the bottom. I would not want to safety wire from the bottom of this hole to the top of this hole. That would be neutral for both. I would also not want to go from the top of this hole to the top of this hole, since the second bolt will be neutral. So, how do I want to attempt this? First of all, I'm going to want to thread from the bottom up. Also, before I get in any further, you want the beginning of your safety wire to be pulled at least a 60 degrees. So if we have a hole at the 3 o'clock position here and we're going down, that 3 o'clock position is fine. Even like a 4 o'clock I would do. Any more than 4 o'clock to like a 6 o'clock position, I would not recommend. I mean, here it's not as big of a deal as it was working on an aircraft, but I will try to show you the right way. So from here, I'm gonna go through the 6 o'clock to the 12 o'clock. I'm gonna run it down and do the same on this bottom one. Now, I would say the biggest problem I've always seen people have is they just don't get the twist tight enough to the holes. This is generally where you'll see failure. The other issue is the direction you are going to pull the wire while you are twisting. I'm going to probably mess this one up because I'm going to show you what not to do. Now, when you are twisting the wire, you want to keep the wire on the same plane as the bolt head. When you twist it out, let's say we'll go here, which is 45 degrees, and you twist that wire back around and down, this safety wire is going to come in front of the bolt head. It's as soon as you bend that wire like that, it can be a pain to get it back. You can do a few tricks and hold it while you twist it back, or you can push it back with the pliers. Usually will work, but if you can just avoid that altogether, it's a lot easier. The other issue I see people usually having is when they start to twist, they will go parallel with the wire. If you twist it about 40, if you position the wire about 45 degrees from the plane of the hole, you will get a tighter twist to hole. So I'll show you what I mean here. I got the safety wire in here. I'm going to take like a quick finger measurement, which I might not have made this wire long enough. Let me grab some bigger size real quick. So I'm going to strand this in a direction where the wire will be pulling tight, and I'm going to be able to move around. So I'm going to grab this. What we used to do is we used to snap it. That kind of just straightens the wire out. Notice how this wire is a little twisted. This one's a lot straighter. You snap it, straighten out. It's a little bit easier to handle with. You don't want to go too tight because you'll actually weaken the wire. Now I can take my quick measurements. I usually go about 1/8 of an inch farther than where the hole is. This makes up for the amount, the length that shortens with the twist of the wire. Another general rule is, I can do this. So 1 pull of this lever is equivalent to the twisting of 1 inch of wire. So if you have 5 inches of wire to twist, you're going to pull this 5 times. That's a little unknown fact to help you gauge whether you're correct. So I'm gonna pull here at about 45 to 90 degree twist, or 90 degree angle from that hole. So I got essentially the correct amount of twist. Another tip here to tighten this up that hole is you're going to twist your wrist about 90 degrees. Try to do this again. Hopefully I won't break this wire and look like a scrub. You can just like roll your wrist about 90 degrees. That will tighten up the hole to the safety wire, or the safety wire to the hole. Right, so now pull this here tight, and as you can see, we are pretty close here. You want to get the twist as close to the hole as possible. This will give you enough. This will give you the good enough strength so you won't be breaking wire. The strength is all from the twist. I mean, there is such a thing as a single strand method, but that is much weaker than the double strand twist method. Alright, so now we got our wire through the second hole here, and if you can see, that top hole is kind of at a horrible position. These are new forks, so the holes don't line up where I usually like them, which is a like 3 to 9 o'clock position if you possibly can. That is the easiest way to work around it, but not a big deal. So once again, I want to go to that. Do this here, through here. Yeah. Once again, you want to go to that 45 to 90 degrees from that hole. Twist it, and that will give you a nice and tight twist to the hole. Do that wrist twist a few times, and that will tighten it up. So then after you're done, you want to cut off and leave about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of material. FAA guides that you need 3 twists for a proper pigtail. Take that, twist it around into a position where it is out of the way. Now, as you can see, the string is pretty tight. Pigtail isn't moving much. There's a little bit of play, but your safety wire is going to prevent things from falling off if they loosen. Working on jet engines that have a lot more vibration than a motorcycle does, I have found more bolts and nuts loose from when I am safety wiring than I have seen safety wire break. It doesn't really happen. If you torque stuff down to spec, the chance of it actually loosening is slim to none. Usually it's just, hey, you're busy, you forgot to tighten something down, and, it comes loose later. Safety wire and something like that, you're going to realize if it's loose or not. That's where I have seen most of the issues. But as you can see here, we have this bolt twisting in a tightening position, and so is this one. This is a great safety wire right here. It could be a little bit loose. It's a little loose, but that's not going to be an issue. Perfectly fine. I'll show you some other things I've safety wired, and this will hopefully give you ideas. Here with this radiator cap, what I do here is I wrap it around twice. Gives you a little bit more strength. And I'll come over to the top of the hole, and I'll go through to the side. Once again, I don't see a radiator cap falling off. If you just pay attention to installing it, you should probably know if it's going to be loose or if you need a new one. Here we have my oil fill cap. I haven't safety wired this yet. I don't safety wire it until I run it and make sure my oil level's good. Usually I do it at the track. I have seen quite a few people that will drill a hole through this bolt, which, it's great, but I noticed there's this tab here on the GSXRs, and I'm pretty sure that's actually what that is used for, since there's no other tabs almost anywhere around this case besides there. So I drill a hole through this guy. If you do drill it through, make sure you cut the safety wire with a pair of dikes. Don't yank on it with the safety wire pliers like I typically do, because this is aluminum. This does have a chance of breaking, but once again, it's quite a bit of material here. You can drill a new one if you do break it. Just be careful, pay attention to what you're doing. I also did that same idea with the tab down here at my oil filter. As you can see, we're doing this isn't neutral. This is still pulling about 40 degrees, and I drilled it into this tab in the case. Haven't had an issue. Doesn't seem like a problem. I've seen other people that put it other places. Whatever you're comfortable with. The oil drain plug. One of the things I highly recommend to do is use some kind of tubing to protect your case. You don't, with vibration, this safety wire will wear through metal. I've seen titanium tubes that were leaking fuel all over the place because safety wire chafed through a titanium tube. Doesn't even sound possible, but it totally happens. So I would highly recommend you use a tube and slide that over the safety wire to prevent any kind of damage. I just went straight to this kickstand bracket that's on there. That worked for me. I'm happy with it. Pretty sure there's no rules in the CCS that prevent that from happening. But that are the few tricks I have. Hopefully that'll make it easier for you between the direction you are pulling the safety wire while you're twisting it and that little wrist movement I showed you. You should be able to accomplish that. Just one of those things is you're going to have to practice to get these twists to that hole. The closer you get them to that hole, the stronger your safety wire is going to be. And, when you show them off to your buddies, you look like you know what you're doing. That's all I got. Just practice and hopefully you'll get it.